Okay, good evening. How you doing today? I'm going to try to start with an introduction. Okay. One, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. That's bottom line. Two, I did turn my phone off today. I don't even know how to use this. For years, I wouldn't even be seen on camera. Um, I do know that I used to always want to write a book called A Silent Cry Within, that no man can hear, feel, or touch. And it's about the pain that you feel inside, but you can't speak of it. You don't even know what that pain is. And it's screaming and yelling for help, but yet you got no voice, like being lost in the forest. I am, for one, a perfectionist. So I struggle with writing things. I write, but I love to write. That's the only thing sometimes kept me alive. But I'm one that, even when I went to college for 9 years, I killed myself to make a straight A. An F wasn't good enough for sure. Um, a B wasn't even good enough. Um, I even got a B plus from a psychology exam for my final exam. That was not good enough. And I asked her to let me take the exam again, which you are allowed to do if you made a C and want a better grade. I made a B plus. And she looked at me. She said, Sandy, but you still passed. I go, but I didn't pass with the grade I want. So I strive. Okay. So with my writing, I was like, oh no, coma's gotta go here, subject gotta go here, you gotta organize this, your periods gotta go here, you gotta make sure you use your short vowels, your long-term vowels, everything I learned in school, how to write. But that's not me. Because when I write like I talk, and that's how come I got these feet up short. I talk with no periods, no breath, no nothing. My mom used to tease me, say, Sandy, you missed your calling. I go, oh yeah, what is it? She said, you should have been a DJ. I never knew for years what that meant. I do that. Um, I would blame that on the doctor. I go, when you're born, they hit you on the butt to make you yell. But they forget hit you on the butt to make you cry. Shut up or be quiet. Oh, it take a break sometimes in between my talk. And I would go, okay, I'll shut up, give you 2 seconds, then I start again. Then I go, okay, your 2 seconds is up. Because while they're trying to figure out I just stopped, I always stopped and took my breath and talked again. Now, the disadvantage to that So you don't listen very good. You're way over there talking. So I know in my writing it would never be perfect. Everything I learned in school would have got thrown out. And the 3 R's: review, rewrite, review. Because I do my writing like I do my talking. So I don't know exactly where this is going to go. I really don't. But I do know I'm making a commitment to come forth. And I do know it'll be my story. I do have a timer on to shut me up. Um, I'm not here for a court of law or to prove the facts. I'm not here really for any profit, any money, any sale. I'm not here. As a matter of fact, today, I don't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. I don't need someone else's approval for me to be me. It's going to be on a lot of recovery from different things. I'm not here to try and put the blame on nobody. I'm really not. I am very thankful for everybody and everything, and even the stuff I went through. Because I learned something from each and every one of them. There'll be triggers on some things. And I do ask, if you don't have support or you're not ready, then please, do what you gotta do. It's okay. But hang in there. Because I'm not intending to create any energy in anyone. But I do believe it's a story that somebody needs to hear. And it's a silence that's been too silent for too long. And one, there is 9 of us kids. And each one of us, I guarantee, will have a different point of view. And that's okay. Each one of us, even though grown up in same home, same this, same that, will have a different way it affected. And that's okay too. For years, I needed their approval for me to do my story. They were going not love me, not accept me. Then I would wait until they could say, yes, Sunday. To this day, they don't say yes. It's like a car wreck. You can have 1, 3, or 15 people that witnesses a car wreck. Same time, same year, same day, same people. And I guarantee that not one of them is going to be 100% accurate with everything they saw. So, question is, who's right, who's wrong? Who's telling the truth, who's not? The proven of guilt in the eyes of the court, right? So, this is not out for a judge to say, okay, Sandy, you won. Okay, Sandy, you're innocent. This isn't out to say my family is wrong because everything I went through, I don't, I don't. And if they agree with me and they see this because I did notify them, I'm going live. That's okay too. Because, again, what they think and what they feel, how they saw it, I can accept today. That it might not be the way I see it. And they're entitled to that. And, in the short version, keep the hope because there's hope. Oh, it's a country girl. Horses, cattle, chickens, pigs. My dad had a job on farms, and I'm talking about 25, 30 miles out. If you ever go to see the town, you're lucky. My dad, the last paycheck I knew he made was $50 a month. People as I got older, goes, oh, poor you. Good. I don't think I was poor. Oh, but you, until society started saying, but poor you. Eventually, I started thinking, poor me. And that was part of my reason to strive to be better than. I hear a lot of people, and I don't want to bring up racism, I really don't. But I've heard a lot of people savory, savory, savory. You can do internet church, and I promise you, you'll find that white people also was slaves. Just because their skin's white don't mean they didn't go through it. And as a matter of fact, some of my family members have been in slavery in Virginia. But I don't talk about that very much. But to me, I don't look at color. I don't care if you're white, yellow, brown, red, pink. I don't care if you're bleached. I look at what's inside. Someone said today, like, you fall and get hurt. You put a band-aid on that sore. Soon you'll see the scar in that, but sooner or later you have to remove that band-aid. Otherwise, it don't heal. I don't see what's on the outside because we do that in our life. We put up this face for our pastors, for our spouse, for our parents, for our teachers, for what our jobs want, what our employees want, what society expects from you. Darn is, eventually you lose who you are. You don't even know what you want. You don't know who you are. All you know is when you go to school, you're this way. When you go work, you're this way. When you go get married, you're this way. When you're at home, you're this way. When you're, you know, around your parents, you're this way. When you're around your grandparents, you're this way. When you're around the grandpas, you're this way. When you're around the cops, yes, sir. But, and when you're in a bar, boy, that's another story. But it gets to a point, at least in my life, who am I? What do I want? What do I believe in? What is my feelings? Because my life was so around every day what they wanted me to be. Today I'm learning to be me, and I'm beginning to find that recovery. But talk about being confused. Because pretty soon you don't know what you're supposed to say, what you don't supposed to say. I grew up, if you turn around and flip your parent off, or yelled, or griped at them, or you cursed them, or slammed the door on them, boy, that might be the last time you walked in that door. I grew up, if you're going to sit at that table and eat that dinner, no work, no eat, they removed that plate. I grew up knowing from the time I was knee high that you got out there and worked. And it didn't matter if you got paid. You sure didn't say, where's my allowance? You sure didn't say, well, I'll do it, but I don't want to. I grew up, there was no way would I ever go off on Facebook or YouTube or anything else and say, hey, my mom's a boom, my dad's a boom, blank, blank. There's sure no way, like my 14-year-old son got drunk, comes home, you ground him, because you can't beat him with the bat no more. My dad, he had the razor strap and the King James Bible in the other hand. And you ground them, and they go take a shower, put on cologne in there. They walk out the door and flip you a finger and say, F your mom, I'm going to a party. What do you do? What do you do? Another setback. What do you do? Pick up that parenting book and see what you're supposed to do? Well, it told me cut them out, ground them, put them in a room. Yeah, at the same time, it was telling me I had to be the parent. And I don't know, I was the parent. What do you do? I called the law because it's curfew time. I go past her and say, what do I do? I didn't know how to handle that. I go to JPOs, what do I do? I go to school teachers, what do I do? I said, lost. To this day, I actually don't know what to do with that. And it's a common word today. The FU is so common, like the NU, the N word. And it don't mean nothing to people. It's like saying hello, good morning. And me, it's like, boy, if that ever came out of my mouth, I'd be across the floor. And even when my daddy died at age 43, no matter how mad I ever got at my mom, no matter how angry I ever got at my mom, I would not swear her. I might not have done everything she wanted me to, but I did not swear her. And I sure didn't lock her up in a nursing home because as a farmer, you take care of each other. You're hungry, you feed them. They need clothes, you give it to them. Even during the Depression time, you never went without food. It might have been bread with sugar and milk for breakfast. You never went without food. And you said thank you. There's one thing on a farm, you get to grow vegetables. You get to have fruit trees. You learn to can things. You learn to grow things. You learn to survive. In more than one way, you learn to survive. Well, that's basically going to be the introduction. Is I don't know what I'm doing up here. I do know, being a farmer girl, you saw a lot of storms, tornadoes, tear up the land that you built. And the only thing you could do, and the only thing you did do, was start over and rebuild. And that's why I love you all. And please remember, you have a purpose in this life and never, because even that storm will pass. You have a be blessed.